Welcome home, everyone. There's nothing worse than ordering something online, having it delivered, opening it up, and finding it just in 1,000 pieces. And that's exactly what happened with this ginger jar. I was so excited to get it home because it was going to be part of my creative castle. The problem is, like I said, it was broken, and there was going to be no way that I could really display it. Not to mention, the lid of the ginger jar did not match the body. So I called. They were gracious enough to give me my refund. I didn't even have to fight, nor did I have to send it back. So I thought, well, I have this free broken ginger jar here. Why not try to put it back together? I've actually done this one time before with a sculpture, but and that turned out perfectly. And I do understand if it's broken, can't fix it to make it perfect, but I could make sure that it's usable. And it's pretty easy to do. And if you like puzzles, that's also a plus. So keep that in mind. So stay tuned to see how I fix my ginger jar. Okay, let's get started. Just like a puzzle, you need to figure out at least the first two pieces, where they go and where you should place them. You're going to need 4 things: glue, a drywall or plaster component, sandpaper, and spray paint. The glue I like to use is E6000. It is so strong and it's the best thing to use. And when I place the pieces, I do make sure I put a generous amount in, and anything that may overflow on the outside, I just kind of wipe up with a moist towel. And I just do this for all the pieces. It's that simple. But I did want to say that it is a shame how some of these companies pack fragile items, and not to mention how some of the mailing and postage companies handle some of these really fragile items. And I mean, I knew it once I picked up the box. I just heard the jingle and my heart just broke because I waited on it for such a long time. So if this ever happens to you, don't worry, it's fixable. When doing this, I kind of felt like I was almost like a archaeologist. You know how they find different like jars from way back in ancient history, and they're able to put them together, and they find them through all the rubble and sand. I felt kind of like that. I mean, their work must be super hard because at least I was dealing with some really big chunky pieces. So that was the great part of what I was doing. When you see how easy of a fix this is, you'll want to find broken ginger jars everywhere. And I just so happened to be at a furniture store, and the sales clerk, she dropped a jar right in front of me, and it was still intact somewhat. And I was going to ask her, hey, I'll take that off your hands for free or at a small charge, because it was huge. And as she went to go pick it up, I guess she just had slippery fingers. I don't know. It dropped again. And I just said, oh boy, that's beyond repair. So I had to, just turn my back to that one. But you'll see how easy this is to fix, and you'll want to try to just go ahead and save pieces when you see them broken. All you need to do is just let the glue dry for 24 hours before you move on to the next step. I still have some holes and cracks in my ginger jar where I just can't find the missing pieces to. They were just completely shattered. So I'm going to use this compound that's like a plaster or something that you use for drywall. You can also use anything that's meant to patch holes in your wall. That will work as well. And I'm just going to use some gloves because I want to protect my hands, because I'm just going to take a glop of it and just smear it on and try to make it as smooth as possible. As we all know, this stuff is pretty thick, so it's kind of hard to do. So you'll see a lot of ridges in it, but no worries, because we will sand it down, and we will sand it down so much that it's going to be smooth. I like to spread this compound a little bit outside of the affected area just to make sure that it adheres to the surface of the ginger jar, and it helps strengthen it. Because I put it on so thick, I wanted to make sure that it was dry, so I waited at least, I think it was like 48 hours or so before I even touched it. And with the fine grit sandpaper, I just smoothed it out, and you will see the final results right here. It's pretty smooth. I do have a couple little dimples here and there, but all in all, it looks a lot better than what it did when it was broken into 1,000 pieces. And all I'm going to do is use this Rust-Oleum paint, because it was not the right color in the first place. So what a perfect reason to make it match the room perfectly. And I'm just going to spray paint it, and I will spray paint this ginger jar at least 4 times, taking between 12 to 48 hours between coats. So please keep that in mind. I also spray painted it with a clear gloss protective coating, and I used E6000 to glue the top onto the ginger jar to make sure that the opening was nice and secure. Thanks so much for watching. I hope I was able to help you out. Please go ahead, like and subscribe. Happy shopping and happy decorating. We'll see you soon.